This is part 4 of the essay writing video series, and this is dealing with the concession paragraph. As a reminder, this essay series is using a sample essay to answer the question, is homework for school students harmful or helpful? And in this sample essay, as you can see in yellow, the thesis is that homework is more harmful than helpful, and there are 3 reasons why. It can interfere with playtime, number 1. Number 2, homework can cause stress. And finally, number 3, it can lead children to develop a habit of cheating. Now, in the introduction, we did concede, or acknowledge if you like, that other people, not the essay writer, but that other people do have a strong belief that homework is useful, and they think it is useful. Well, we'll see later why they think that, but we do just acknowledge that people think that it's useful. But remember, this is not the view of the author, so that's why we say many people argue. Now, in the planning, we listed what we saw as arguments that explain why people think homework is helpful, and on the right, we listed why people think homework might be harmful. After listing them, we thought, well, there's more arguments that see that homework is harmful. That's why we're taking this position. But in the planning stage, we thought, well, revision helps learning may have been the strongest argument. But at the same time, we thought, well, there might be a problem with that. Maybe students might learn the wrong information. So we noticed that revision helping learning was maybe the strongest argument in favour of homework, but we could think of a refutation. We could think of a response back, an argument back. So let's begin. Let's take firstly what the counter-argument is. Revision helps students to learn. It's not the view of the essay writer. Remember, it is the counter-argument. That's why we use phrases such as, some people believe, or it is often argued that, so that we're showing this is the view of other people, not the essay writer. So we look at the revision helps students to learn. Where did we get that from? Where was our evidence? We got it from an article by Vaughan, Dunlosky and Rawson in 2016. And on page 897 of that article it says, retrieval practice, that means revision, improves memory for many kinds of materials. So revision helps you to remember what you have learned. And numerous factors moderate the benefits of retrieval practice, including the amount of successful retrieval practice. So this is saying, if you do revision and you do it regularly, it's likely to help you to remember. So we might use that as a paraphrase rather than quote this long, difficult sentence. So we're going to have a paraphrase that says, regular revision of work is the best way to learn and retain information. Now remember, we found on the left the strongest argument in favour of homework was that revision helps learning, but on the right we noted how we're going to respond back to that, or if you like, how we're going to argue back, argue against it. This is called the refutation or rebuttal, and we thought, well, what if they learn the wrong information? Yes, revision helps you to remember, but in that case you would be remembering the wrong information. So that's our refutation, that students might practice and thus learn the wrong information. So before we write the concession, we think of the counter-argument, but we have to think, what's our answer to it? What's our argument back? Now you have to ask yourself why or how might this happen? How might the student end up learning the wrong information? Basically, they don't get feedback if they're at home. So there's no teacher to say, oh, watch out, you're learning the wrong information. So let's build the concession paragraph. We begin, like we did with the other body paragraphs, with a topic sentence. It is often argued that children need to practice at home what they learned at school. Just to remind you, we must say it is often argued that, or maybe many people believe that. It must not be in your voice as the essay writer. It is not your argument, not your belief. It is a belief held by others. So we have our statement, our topic sentence, but then we want to back it up with some research. As we said, the Vaughan, Dunlosky and Rawson article from 2016 had the suggestion that regular revision of work is the best way to learn and retain or remember information. Now, there's our topic sentence and the evidence to support it. But what we must now do is argue back. We must, in a sense, show how the counter-argument is not a strong argument. We can say, no, we'll show you the problems with the counter-argument. And this is what we call the refutation section or the rebuttal. And we begin it with the word however. So we're going to say, like we thought of before, it could happen that children spend hours at home practicing the wrong information because they do not have immediate feedback from the teacher. So we've explained how this counter-argument is weak. We've shown the problem. But let's have some evidence for this. So from another article by Chen, Breslow and De Boer in 2018, we see that feedback is vitally important for learning. So this supports our argument. If they don't get feedback, then they might be learning the wrong thing. Now we want to explain it. As we said before in the body paragraphs, always we want to hear your voice as the essay writer explaining information. So we've explained here, unfortunately, homework is not always checked, and feedback can be delayed or not even given at all. And we conclude the whole paragraph with a final sentence which makes the point very clearly again. Therefore, homework is not as useful as people believe, and it's more productive to revise and practice learning at school. So we even give an answer to the counter-argument. If people think revision is important, well, we're showing that it's best done at school. We're not saying that revision itself is bad. We are just demonstrating that revision can have problems if it's done as homework. So let's get the children to revise at school.